My beloved brothers and sisters, sometimes the pain you feel is not because you are doing something wrong, it is because you are doing something right. This is shocking for many people because they expect closeness to Allah to remove hardship, not increase it. Yet some of the most sincere believers carry the heaviest hearts. Today, I want to explain why this happens, because once you understand it, your pain will stop feeling like a punishment. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the biggest misunderstandings people have is thinking that pain always means something is wrong. In reality, Allah does not place heavy burdens on hearts that cannot carry them. When Allah allows certain people to experience deeper emotional or spiritual pain, it is often because He knows what already exists within them. This is not about superiority, and it is not about being better than others. It is about responsibility. Just like in life, when a teacher trusts a student, that student is given harder work, not easier work. The aim is not to break them, but to help them grow. In the same way, Allah allows certain hearts to face challenges that refine them, strengthen them, and shape their character. These are not random tests. They are measured, known, and perfectly placed by Allah. Many people look at others and wonder why their lives appear lighter, while their own hearts feel heavy, even though they are trying to do the right thing. They pray, they hold back from what displeases Allah. They try to remain patient, yet they feel an emotional weight that is difficult to explain. This does not mean Allah is displeased with them. Often it means Allah is aware of their sincerity and is preparing them for a level of understanding, patience, or purpose that requires depth of heart. Allah knows which hearts will turn bitter and which hearts will turn better through hardship. And when Allah sees a heart that will not turn away from Him despite pain, that heart is trusted with more. This trust is not easy and it is not comfortable, but it is meaningful. What you are carrying today may be shaping the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you will one day help others. So if you feel that your pain is heavier than what you see around you, remind yourself of this. Allah knows you. He knows your limits better than you do. And He has not placed this weight on your heart by mistake. One of the hardest truths to accept is that comfort does not always bring a person closer to Allah, but pain often does. When life is smooth, the heart can become distracted without realizing it. We rely on people, routines, and stability, and slowly Allah moves to the background of our thoughts. But when pain enters the heart, something changes. The distractions fall away. The heart becomes honest, and the conversation with Allah becomes real. Many people only speak to Allah properly when they are hurting, not because they are weak, but because pain strips away pretense. In moments of deep struggle, your dua is no longer rehearsed. Your words may even disappear, but your heart speaks clearly. That sincerity is beloved to Allah. This is why some hearts are allowed to feel pain more deeply, because Allah wants that heart to return to Him fully, not partially. Allah Himself reminds us of this reality in the Quran when He says, وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ دَعَى رَبَّهُ مُنِيبًا إِلَيْهِ. And when hardship touches a person, he calls upon his Lord, turning to Him alone. This verse is not describing a failure of faith. It is describing human truth. Hardship has a way of turning the heart back to Allah in a way that ease never could. For the chosen ones, this turning happens repeatedly because Allah wants their connection to Him to remain alive, sincere and strong. Sometimes people ask, why do I keep feeling this pain even though I pray? And the answer is not always that the prayer has failed. Sometimes the prayer is exactly what Allah wants to hear again and again. The pain is not there to push you away from Allah. It is there to keep you close. It reminds you who controls relief. It reminds you who truly understands you. It reminds you where your heart belongs. There are people who only remember Allah in Ramadan or during a crisis or when everything collapses. But the chosen heart is kept in a state where it never fully forgets Allah, because pain keeps calling it back. This is not a curse, it is a form of protection. It is Allah refusing to let your heart drift too far. So when your pain brings you to sajda, when it brings tears you cannot explain, when it makes you speak to Allah in ways you never spoke before, understand this clearly. This pain may be the very means through which Allah is keeping you close to Him. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most painful processes a believer goes through is detachment. Not detachment from love, not detachment from care, but detachment from false reliance. Many hearts suffer not because Allah wants to hurt them, but because their hearts are tied to things that were never meant to carry their weight. People, plans, expectations, timelines, and dreams can quietly become anchors around the heart. When those anchors fail, the pain feels unbearable. But there is wisdom here that is easy to miss. Allah, in His mercy, does not allow the chosen heart to be permanently attached to what will eventually disappoint it. If a heart leans too heavily on people, Allah may allow people to fall short. If a heart becomes overly attached to outcomes, Allah may delay those outcomes. If a heart finds comfort in control, Allah may remove that control. This is not cruelty, this is protection. Because if your heart finds its deepest security anywhere other than Allah, it will eventually break in a way that is far more damaging. Many people ask, why do I keep losing things I care about? Or why do people keep letting me down? Sometimes the answer is not that Allah wants to take from you, but that Allah wants to free you. Free you from expecting perfection from creation. Free you from building your peace on something fragile. Free you from trusting what was never promised to last. The chosen ones feel this pain more deeply because their hearts are being trained to rely on the one who never fails. This detachment is uncomfortable because it feels like loneliness, but it is not the loneliness of abandonment. It is the loneliness of purification. When Allah removes layers of reliance one by one, the heart begins to recognize its true refuge. You may feel misunderstood, unsupported, or alone in your struggle, but in reality, Allah is narrowing the path so that your heart knows exactly where to turn when everything else fades. There are people who go their entire lives without this awakening. They remain distracted by comfort, validation, and routine, never realizing how fragile their foundations are. But the chosen heart is not left asleep. Allah shakes it awake. He allows disappointment to enter, not to harden the heart, but to mature it. With each loss, the heart learns where peace does not live. With each letdown, the heart moves closer to where peace truly is. This is why the pain of detachment feels sharper for some people. It is not because they are weaker. It is because Allah is actively shaping their reliance. He is teaching their hearts again and again that true safety, true understanding, and true comfort come only from Him. And once a heart learns this lesson deeply, no loss ever destroys it completely again. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the reasons the chosen ones often feel the most pain is because Allah is not only testing their actions, He is shaping their inner world. Many people go through life facing external problems, but their hearts remain largely untouched. They react, they complain, they move on. But the chosen heart is taken through something much deeper. It is made to confront itself, its intentions, its fears, its attachments, its expectations, and even the way it understands Allah are all slowly refined through struggle. This kind of pain is exhausting because it is not always visible. You may be functioning on the outside while fighting battles inside that no one sees. You may be fulfilling responsibilities, smiling when needed, and continuing life. Yet your heart feels like it is constantly being stretched. This internal struggle can feel heavier than any physical hardship because there is no clear finish line. But Allah knows exactly what He is doing. Allah allows repeated inner struggles because they remove arrogance in ways comfort never could. When a person feels strong all the time, they may begin to rely on themselves without realizing it. But when the heart is brought to moments of weakness again and again, it learns humility, it learns dependence, it learns sincerity. The chosen heart learns to say, Ya Allah, not as a habit, but as a necessity. Many people ask why they feel tested again just as they begin to feel stable. They think, I've learned my lesson. Why is this returning? But Allah is not repeating the test to punish you. He is deepening the lesson. Each struggle removes another layer that does not belong. Each moment of confusion forces the heart to seek clarity from Allah alone. Each wave of pain pushes the heart away from superficial faith and into a faith that is lived, felt, and relied upon. There is also a wisdom in how these struggles slow a person down. In a fast-moving world, people rush through life without reflection. but the chosen ones are often made to pause. Pain interrupts their momentum so they can reflect, reassess, and realign. It stops them from running toward things that look good but are not good for them. It forces them to ask deeper questions about purpose, direction, and sincerity. This pause is not wasted time, it is preparation. Over time, these inner struggles produce something rare, emotional and spiritual maturity. The chosen heart becomes calm in situations that once caused panic. It becomes thoughtful instead of reactive. It becomes gentle with others because it understands pain intimately. This kind of growth does not come from ease. It comes from being shaped slowly, patiently, and intentionally by Allah. So if you feel like your heart has been through more than it should have, remember this: Allah is not repeatedly testing you because He is displeased. He is refining you because He sees potential within you that cannot be reached through comfort alone. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the hardest lessons Allah teaches certain hearts is not how to gain, but how to lose without losing faith. Many people believe that faith grows through blessings alone, but that is not always true. For some hearts, faith only becomes real when everything familiar begins to fall apart. When the plans fail, when the people disappoint, when the strength fades, and when answers do not come quickly, Allah is teaching the chosen heart something that comfort never could. There are people who know Allah through ease. They thank Him when things go well and remember Him when life is comfortable. But there are others who are introduced to Allah in the depths of struggle. Their relationship with Allah is not built on convenience but on necessity. They do not turn to Allah because it is routine. They turn to Him because there is nowhere else to go. And this kind of faith is not shallow. It is rooted deeply in reality. Allah allows certain people to reach points where they realize fully and honestly that nothing in this world can carry them. Not money, not status, not relationships, not control, not planning. This realization is painful because it strips away illusions. It removes the false sense of security we build around ourselves. But once these illusions are removed, something extraordinary happens. The heart finally stands before Allah without filters, without expectations, without conditions. Many people fear reaching this point because it feels like failure. They think, why am I struggling when others are progressing? Or why does it feel like I am constantly rebuilding? But this rebuilding is not random. Allah is teaching the chosen heart how to stand on a foundation that does not collapse. Every time something breaks, the heart learns where not to build again. There are moments when Allah allows you to feel completely helpless, not to humiliate you, but to humble you. Helplessness is not weakness when it leads you to Allah. It is clarity. It is the moment the heart stops pretending it is in control and finally accepts that control belongs to Allah alone. And once this acceptance settles into the heart, the fear of losing things slowly changes. You may still feel pain, but you are no longer destroyed by it. The chosen ones often experience repeated cycles of hope and disappointment. They hope sincerely, they plan responsibly, they pray deeply, and yet things unfold differently than expected. This can create exhaustion that is difficult to explain. But within this cycle, Allah is teaching endurance, not hopelessness. He is teaching the heart how to remain upright even when outcomes are uncertain. He is teaching the heart to trust Allah's wisdom over its own understanding. Over time, this produces a rare kind of strength. Not the loud strength that announces itself, but the quiet strength that remains steady. The chosen heart learns how to continue even when clarity is missing. It learns how to worship even when motivation feels low. It learns how to remain patient without becoming bitter. This strength is not built in moments of ease. It is built in moments where giving up would feel understandable, yet the heart chooses Allah instead. There is also a loneliness that comes with this journey, not because Allah has abandoned the heart, but because fewer people understand it. When you walk a path that is shaped by deep reliance on Allah, your experiences begin to differ from those around you. What excites others may no longer excite you. What comforts others may no longer comfort you. And this can feel isolating. But this isolation is not emptiness, it is space. Space where Allah becomes enough. Allah removes distractions so the chosen heart can hear Him clearly. Noise fades, validation fades, comparison fades. What remains is a heart that knows where to turn in every state. This is why some people appear calm in situations that would break others. They have already learned where their refuge is. Many people ask Allah for strength without realizing what strength requires. Strength requires pressure, stability requires testing, depth requires discomfort. Allah does not give these qualities cheaply. He builds them carefully, layer by layer, through experiences that stretch the heart without snapping it. And every time you survive something you thought you wouldn't, your heart becomes more anchored in Allah. So if you are at a stage where you feel stripped of comfort, stripped of certainty, stripped of answers, understand this: Allah is not taking everything away from you. He is leaving you with what matters most, Himself. And when Allah becomes enough for the heart, nothing else has the power to destroy it completely. This is why the chosen ones often feel the most pain, because Allah is not preparing them for ease alone. He is preparing them for resilience, clarity, and a level of closeness that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of life. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is a reality many people do not like to hear, but it is a reality that explains so much pain. Allah often breaks the chosen ones on the inside long before He lifts them on the outside. And when I say breaks, I do not mean destroys. I mean He dismantles what is false, what is fragile, and what cannot survive the weight of what is coming next. Many people want elevation without preparation. They want peace without struggle, strength without weakness, clarity without confusion. But Allah does not work like this. When Allah intends good for a servant, He prepares their heart in ways that are uncomfortable but necessary. The heart must first learn humility before it can carry responsibility. It must learn patience before it can handle blessings. It must learn reliance on Allah before it is trusted with influence, impact, or leadership. The chosen ones often feel emotionally exhausted because Allah is teaching them lessons internally that others may never learn. Lessons about sincerity, lessons about intention, lessons about letting go. Lessons about trusting Allah even when there is no visible evidence that things will improve. These lessons are not taught through words alone. They are taught through experience. And experience often hurts. You may find yourself questioning your own strength. You may wonder why things that seem small affect you so deeply. You may feel emotionally raw, sensitive, or overwhelmed. But this sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a sign that Allah is shaping your heart to feel, understand, and respond at a deeper level. A heart that feels deeply is a heart that can connect deeply with Allah and with people. Allah often removes false confidence from the chosen ones. The confidence that comes from intelligence, planning, or past success. Not because these things are wrong, but because they can quietly replace reliance on Allah. When that reliance shifts, Allah intervenes. He allows situations where your effort alone is not enough, where your planning alone does not work, where your strength alone cannot carry you through. And in that moment, the heart learns the truth of Hasbi Allahu. Allah is enough for me. This internal breaking can feel humiliating. You may feel like you are regressing while others are progressing. You may feel like you are standing still while life moves forward. But Allah is not delaying you. He is grounding you. A building that rises high without a deep foundation will collapse. Allah deepens the foundation of the chosen heart so that when elevation comes, it does not destroy them. There are people who receive blessings quickly and lose themselves just as quickly. Their hearts were never prepared. Their egos were never softened. Their intentions were never purified. So the blessing becomes a test they cannot pass. Allah protects the chosen ones from this by delaying, reshaping, and sometimes dismantling their inner world first. The chosen ones also learn restraint through pain. They learn not to react immediately, not to speak carelessly, not to act out of emotion. Pain slows them down. It teaches them to pause, to reflect, and to choose responses carefully. This is not accidental. Allah is teaching wisdom, and wisdom is rarely born in comfort. Many people measure progress by visible change, success, relief, recognition. But Allah measures progress differently. He looks at how the heart responds when it is hurt. Does it turn bitter or does it turn back to Him? Does it complain endlessly or does it seek understanding? Does it give up or does it continue quietly? These responses matter more to Allah than any outward achievement. There will be moments when the chosen heart feels completely misunderstood, even by people who love them, even by people who care, because not everyone understands internal battles. Not everyone understands silent patience. Not everyone understands faith that continues without applause. This misunderstanding can be painful, but it also protects sincerity. When no one sees your struggle except Allah, your relationship with Him becomes pure. Allah also teaches the chosen ones how to sit with discomfort. Not every pain is removed immediately. Not every dua is answered in the way expected. Not every door opens quickly. Through this waiting, the heart learns endurance. It learns how to remain respectful with Allah even when answers are delayed. This kind of adab with Allah is a sign of maturity. Over time, something powerful happens. The same heart that once felt fragile becomes steady. The same heart that once felt overwhelmed becomes grounded. The same heart that once questioned everything begins to trust Allah deeply, even without explanations. This transformation is slow and it is painful, but it is real. Allah does not break the chosen ones to leave them broken. He breaks what would have broken them later. He removes what would have corrupted them later. He weakens what would have made them arrogant later. And once this internal work is done, the heart becomes capable of carrying blessings without losing itself. So if you feel internally exhausted, reshaped and stretched in ways you cannot explain, remember this: Allah is not undoing you. He is rebuilding you. And what Allah rebuilds is always stronger, purer and more lasting than what existed before. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most important truths the chosen heart must eventually come to understand is this: pain is not permanent, but what it builds within you can last forever. When you are in the middle of difficulty, it feels endless. The heart tells you that you have been struggling for too long, waiting for too long, holding on for too long. But Allah reminds us again and again that nothing in this world remains unchanged, not ease and not hardship. The chosen ones often feel the most pain because their journey is not about immediate comfort, it is about transformation. Allah is not rushing to remove the pain because He is completing something within the heart first, and once that work is complete, the pain loses its power. It may still exist, but it no longer controls the heart the way it once did. Many people think relief only comes when circumstances change, but Allah often gives relief before circumstances change by changing the heart itself. Suddenly, what once felt unbearable becomes manageable. What once felt overwhelming becomes lighter. Not because life became easier, but because Allah strengthened the heart. This is one of the greatest forms of relief. Yet many people overlook it because they are waiting for external change. The chosen ones are taught patience in layers, not the patience that waits passively, but the patience that continues to trust Allah while moving forward. They learn patience with people, patience with delay, patience with unanswered questions, and patience with themselves. This kind of patience is not learned in moments of comfort. It is learnt in moments when giving up would feel reasonable, yet the heart chooses to remain connected to Allah. Allah also teaches the chosen ones how to see beyond the moment they are in. Pain narrows vision. It makes the heart focus only on what hurts now. But faith widens vision. It reminds the heart that this life is not the final destination, that every hardship carries reward, that every tear is recorded, that every moment of restraint is known by Allah, even when no one else sees it. The chosen heart begins to understand that some of the greatest rewards are not given in this world. And this understanding does not create despair, it creates peace. Because once a person knows that Allah never wastes pain, they stop measuring